Thank you, Blake, for the wonderful introduction, and distinguished guests. It is an absolute delight to be here today. I thank you for inviting me. It's a privilege to spend some time talking with you about education, and I'm going to focus on the transformational impact that I believe that this could have on this state and on this business community. I want to focus my comments on three areas that I believe can make a difference in the state's economic future: early childhood education, higher academic standards, and enhanced career and technical education. When I applied to become state superintendent, I did so after much thought and research. I knew the numbers. The 2013 Quality Counts report, issued by the Education Week publication annually, placed Mississippi fourth from the bottom when it comes to K-12 achievement. The 2014 report is going to be released tomorrow. But there were other statistics that told of Mississippi's educational story. 47% of our third graders are not reading on grade level on our own state assessments. According to the 2013 National Assessment on Education Progress, commonly referred to as the NAEP report, 18% of our fourth graders and 19% of our eighth graders were proficient in reading, and 24% of our fourth graders and 18% of our eighth graders were proficient in math. When I looked at the ACT results from 2013, it indicated that only 12% of our high school graduates were considered college ready on all four tested subject areas, whereas the national average was 25%. And alarming to me as well, when I looked at the 2013 Mississippi Kids Count report, our parents and students were spending $35.5 million on college remedial classes that do not count for credit. I cite these statistics to not point fingers. The data are what the data are, and I am a firm believer in transparency. We need to be honest and open about where we are in educating our children, because only then can we begin to improve our public school system and rewrite our story. I'm entering my second month as state superintendent, and what I've been saying to local superintendents around the state is that I'm honest to a fault. So if you want to know what I'm thinking, simply ask me, and I'll be happy to tell you what's on my mind. But when the conversation turns to early childhood education, what you will soon learn is that I am committed to making high-quality early childhood education programs more accessible to all children across the state. If we expect our children to read on grade level by the end of grade 3, which we should, we need to ensure that they've got the foundational skills necessary for success in kindergarten and beyond. High-quality early childhood programs prepare children not just academically, but socially and emotionally as well. I'm pleased to know that MEC supports strong early childhood educational programs, and I look forward to finding ways to increase access to high-quality programs. In recent weeks, I've traveled the state meeting with school district superintendents and local officials, and one of the questions I heard most frequently was, what are your plans to address educating children in poverty? I know that 71% of students in this state receive free or reduced lunch. I was the chief academic officer in the DC public school system, where students mirrored the poverty rates in Mississippi. My experience there showed me achievement at higher levels, even amongst the poorest students, is possible. Results from the National Assessments of Student Performance bear this out. In 2011, DC students improved in 4th and 8th grade math and reading on NAEP. And the growth that DC saw in 2013 was 3 to 7 times greater than the national growth. DC students also showed the greatest growth of any urban district in the nation on the 2013 Trial Urban District Assessments. These were the highest scores that DC has ever seen. It's possible. Raising student achievement is more than just discussing test scores. It's about providing our students the knowledge and skills to be successful in the workplace and to build Mississippi's economy. Improving education is an economic driver. Last November, the Fitch Credit Rating Agency announced it was downgrading Mississippi's bond rating outlook from stable to negative. The main reason that was cited was the state's socioeconomic profile as being relatively weak, but with wealth and educational attainment indicators significantly lagging the nation. Poverty and low education levels not only impact a person's quality of life, they have a negative impact on the financial outcome or outlook of our state government. We must set high standards for our children. We must find ways to help children that lag behind their peers, as well as encouraging those who are excelling academically to achieve at even higher levels. And we must fund public education at a level that can accomplish those high expectations. The 2013 quality report gave Mississippi an F on spending. However, I'm also going to go further. Money isn't the sole answer for improving education. Our neighbor to the north, Tennessee, used the collective will of that state to focus on student achievement, and it's starting to pay off. This year's NAEP results showed that Tennessee was the fastest improving state in the nation in educational gains. Those results were contributed to several factors, but focusing efforts on student growth and achievement played a continual role. I have no doubt, based on my interactions with Governor Bryant, Lieutenant Governor Reeves, and Speaker Gunn, that we too will forge this working relationship to move the state forward. One initiative that Mississippi and Tennessee have in common is the implementation of Common Core state standards. Tennessee has aggressively implemented these higher standards, and their student achievement is improving as a result. I am committed to continuing implementation of these standards, and let me emphasize, the Mississippi Board of Education adopted standards, not a curriculum. There is a difference. Standards simply set targets for what students should know and be able to do at each grade level. A curriculum is developed by local school districts, and they develop things such as teaching strategies, lessons, and materials. Neither the state nor especially the federal government controls that. But let me give you a business example. Standards would be like a sales goal for your company. You're a CEO. You tell your company and your employees that they need to reach a specific goal by the year's end. That's the standard that you set. The curriculum would be, what sales strategies do they employ? How often do they meet with their clients? What kind of materials are they giving their clients? That's the employee's decision. I have said repeatedly across the state, and I will say it to you, I fully support Common Core state standards. They are very rigorous, and they will prepare students and your future employees. You need employees who can think critically, solve problems, work in teams, and communicate well. That's what you do each day. And that's what the Common Core is designed to help our students do. In fact, Rex Tillerson, Chairman and CEO of ExxonMobil Corporation, recently put into perspective his support for Common Core. He spoke at the 2013 National Summit on Education Reform in October, and he said that the business community should be concerned about higher standards because you are the customers of our educational system. He also said that if he's looking for talent, why wouldn't he look at a state that's using Common Core to measure what students know and can do? He's confident that if students perform well under such high standards, then that's the kind of employee he wants. And I urge you to join me in supporting these standards. I've seen what can happen when states make education a priority. I have seen the governors of Virginia and Maryland battle over businesses and industries coming to their states, and then companies making those decisions because the quality of the educational system was never in question. Both of those states have high academic achievement. I want Mississippi to be in that enviable position. And when I talk about Common Core, I want to stress that these standards help prepare students for college and careers. I'm aware that not every student chooses to pursue a 2 or 4 year institution, and that should be a student's choice. An academically strong career and technical education can have a dramatic impact on students and the Mississippi economy. By collaborating with business and industry, we can ensure that K-12 education aligns to workforce needs and prepares students through rigorous academic programs for a viable career. I am an optimist, and I make no apologies for it. I believe in my heart of hearts we have an opportunity to change the trajectory of this state if we're willing to do the hard work, to collaborate, to innovate, and to make decisions in the best interest of all children. And I want to close with one of my favorite quotes from President Theodore Roosevelt. It's commonly titled, "The Man in the Arena." It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually strives to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself for a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Please join me in Mississippi's educational arena as we dare greatly on behalf of the students of our great state. We can do this.